Here you go. I'm going to give you a 15% off voucher for the course for no reason other than why not. For 24 hours it'll be available. So if you want to grab that discount on the course, get it right now. Hello and welcome to a video where I'll tell a story, because I haven't been doing anything because I've been sick. Well, I'm pretty much better. Last day of antibiotics, I had a tonsillitis thing. So for about the last week, I've just been not much energy, and I've been just watching Red Dwarf and sitting around, and I kind of enjoyed the rest, but at the same time, after not making music, not being creative, really does affect me. I don't feel great. I really need to get back into making music and being productive and just enjoying life again. This just popped up. I thought I'll make a video about that. A story about how I failed my exams when I was in college studying jazz. So when I was 18, I finished school and I went to jazz college, which was in the same place where I went to school. It was called New Park. It was a little music center where I went for lessons, studied guitar, and they had a course there. They had a course called, well, it was like a diploma in jazz studies. There was no degree in jazz in Ireland at the time. This was like 1998. And I really wanted to learn jazz. Not because I loved jazz, which I did like jazz, but I loved electronic music, making electronic music, and I wanted to learn more about music theory and improvising and all the chords and harmony, and really I wanted to learn all that and then apply it to electronic music. So I went into study full time, and it was small. It was maybe like, I don't know, 15 people in my year, in the first year, and then in the second year it dropped down to like 4 people, because the first year was a standalone course called the Professional Musician Training Certificate, and if you went on to do the diploma, you had to do another year, which turned into another 3 years for me, as you'll hear in the story. So it was supposed to be you do this first year and then you go into a second year and do your exams and get your diploma in the second year. But at the end of the first year, the teachers said to a few of us, you're not going to be ready to do the exams next year. So you need an extra year. All right, so the second year for you will be an extra year getting better. And so that second year, there was only four of us, me and 3 others in our class. And we only had like 4 hours of class a week or something. It was very, not much structure to it. We just went in and a teacher was like, what do you guys want to do today? That kind of thing. And we'd play Wayne Shorter tune or listen to music, or it was very unstructured. But I was practicing a lot on my own. I was very motivated to practice. I was like really trying to get in all the hours and a lot of ear training, and I was doing at least 4 to 6 hours of practice a day then. And I was writing music and I was getting better, and then the next year, the third year, I can't even remember, there was maybe a few more people in that year, that can't remember how many, but I really focused hard on the exams of the third year exams. This was my diploma exams. It was a kind of a 2-part thing. One was a performance, which examiners came over from London to watch your performance and examine you and give you a mark, and because it was a London Guildhall School of Music diploma, right? So I was like working a set of music for that. Now usually people did a set of standards and maybe included one original, but for some reason I didn't want to do any standards at all. All originals. The whole set was originals, and my teachers were like, yeah, cool, do it. And there were really weird originals as well. I don't have any recordings from that time, but they were weird contemporary not even that jazzy sounding. Yeah, that's what I was into like innovating and doing something different. So I worked really hard on that set with the musicians, other students, and I thought it sounded really cool. And the teachers thought it sounded really cool too. They were like, yeah, this is great stuff. And then the other part of the exam was really difficult theory and ear training exam. Not many people passed the whole exam and got the diploma with the ear training part 2, which didn't make any difference at all, except for your diploma said with jazz skills on it. Like, who cares about that? But it was more of the, like, I don't know, ego thing. Pass the exam. So the pass rate was, you had to get 50% or higher to pass. If you got less than 50%, then you failed. And I worked really hard on the ear training. It was a really tough ear training exam. There would be like 6-note chords. You had to say what the chord was, like get every note right. There was, I can't even remember now, difficult rhythms and chord progressions, recognizing them by ear, recognizing scales by ear, singing back scales by ear, all this kind of stuff that I was terrible at when I started in first year. And I did an hour ear training a day. I got much better ear training. And in the end of the third year, I did the exams, the performance and the ear training exam, and waited for the results. And it took a while, but I think it was at least 6 weeks later, I heard back, and the result was that I'd failed the performance. I only got 47%, but I passed the ear training part, which I think I was probably the first student ever there to fail the performance. Like, people usually either failed both or they passed the performance but failed the ear training, but no one ever failed the performance and passed the ear training. And I was bummed about it, I will say that. I briefly considered like just moving to Thailand and becoming a monk or something like that. It's just like, oh, screw this, I can't be a musician. Which is, you know, silly. But I kind of brushed it off, shrugged it off. I was like, oh, what are the options then? So repeat the performance exam a year later to do a 4th year. For this 2-year diploma, it took me 4 years. So, but the school were running a composition kind of workshop along with that 4th year, which is the only year I think they did it. And it was like a few months long, and there was a few people doing it. So I did that. So that was cool. It kind of gave me a focus. And I got a new band, a much better band that year, which mostly members of a band that we created around that time, 2003, 2004, called Oldsquarelines was the name of the band. And then we went on to record an album. We were called Orpheus, actually, but we changed the name to Oldsquarelines, which is another story. But anyway, it's a really good band. Sean Carpio, Sean Mackerlin, Greg Felton, and Dave Redmond, and myself. And I think that was my band. In the 4th year when I did the exam, I got like 70% or something, did 75, got a good mark, passed it. So I got the whole diploma and everything. But the failing it the year before was I shrugged it off, but at the same time, it was a kick in the teeth. But I did the wrong thing. If I wanted to pass it, I should have just done a set of standards and, you know, gone for the pass. I didn't do that. I just was more into doing what I wanted to do, which was weird music. And of course, the examiners were looking for like more straight ahead jazz. So that's why I didn't pass. Story of my life. I've always done what I wanted to do, and, you know, screw everyone else. Musically and artistically and all that. So it's been hard to get success, I suppose. Well, what is success? You know, I'm not there yet, but I think of it in terms of who you're able to work with, collaborate with, people that you wouldn't have access to. You know, it's still really hard to say, get in touch with someone like, you know, Luke Vibert. It's hard to get in touch with him. Yeah, I've tried. To just say, would he consider remixing one of my tracks or whatever, you know, just something like that. Like you kind of have to claw your way up through this industry, and it's never seems to really get there yet. But I'm fairly optimistic most of the time. But being sick for a week, I'm like kind of like a little bit down the mood, but still I look back at those past long time ago with that failing the exams. Oh, that was unpleasant. Yeah, I remember my sister, when I told her, did you hear I didn't pass my exam? And she was like, oh no, that must be awful. Oh, you must feel terrible. Oh God. She was doing I was like, no, I don't care. And then, but it kind of, I did care. And her over empathy thing, it made me, don't do that. No, I felt like crying right then because she was so, oh no, oh, you failed. Oh, that's terrible. So, of course, I can laugh about it now. You know, I never did the whole diploma. I never did it to get the diploma, you know. I just wanted to learn how to play, and I did. Well, you know, I got better, way better. Over the 4 years, I became a way better musician. I didn't learn how to play fast bebop lines. You know, I didn't get as good as I thought I would in 4 years. I've often said this, you know, if I knew how hard it would be and that I'd be still practicing and trying to get there 30 years later, maybe I would have had second thoughts about doing it. I thought in 4 years I would go from like where I was to being a good jazz player. I didn't do that. It was a much longer journey. I think I am a good player now, though. You know, I have to get some gigs and get out there and play more music. But anyway, this is a bit of a rambly video. That was yeah, I thought I would get better. I did get better, but not good enough to move to New York, or I don't know. What? It's silly to study jazz. You know, why? Well, I had my reasons, which weren't the same as other people's reasons. Other people, maybe they just love the music, they want to learn the music, they want to play, gig, record, tour. I want to do that stuff, but it was a main thing in my mind. I just wanted to learn the knowledge and then apply it, make music, which I've done. I've done that, so yay. But I can't make a living out of it, of course. It's too hard making electronic jazz, you know. I want to get a bigger profile, of course. I'm still working on that. But yeah, it was fun along the way. And I do miss some things. Like someone asked me recently, it was Nadia, who would I rather hang out with? A bunch of jazz musicians or a bunch of electronic music producers? Even though I consider myself more of an electronic music producer, I'd probably rather hang out with a bunch of jazz musicians because, I don't know, it's more fun. Like, because jazz is more social. Jazz is something where you get together and you play with people, play music. It's very interactive. It's like a conversation. I have great conversations with jazz musicians. I really like hanging out with jazz musicians. But electronic music producing is more solitary thing, and yeah, it's fun to get together and listen to tunes real loud, like on a big system, like an Escher Music Connection or something like that. But yeah, I mean, maybe they're just not as social. Not that jazz musicians are super social, but when they get together, at least there's like a good dynamic and conversation, and maybe not so much with electronic music producers. So yeah, I'm leaning towards that. So, you know, I'm looking forward to going to the jazz jam session in Bristol more, the Duck and Hound or whatever it's called. It's on Sunday. I might go again and try and pick up some gigs and play with my friend Raf Clarkson here and do all that stuff. It's yeah, some stuff to do. And meanwhile, get back into making the tunes and releasing tunes. We've got a new release coming up this month, which is a bunch of tracks from 1998 that my friend Jenna gave me a bunch of cassettes, and I digitized them, and this is one of them. School Tracks 1998. So look out for that. The course is available. Here you go. I'm going to give you a 15% off voucher for the course for no reason other than why not. For 24 hours it'll be available. So if you want to grab that discount on the course, get it right now. All right. Yeah, that's it. See ya.